I'm at Arlech on Twitter, and I'd like to give a quick thanks to HC, who did some of the coding for the reminder stuff, and who did about half or more of the recordings of all the English speeches you will hear on the phone, and to Tim Brittloff, who yesterday loaned us his studio to actually record, I guess, more than half of the recordings. You know how it is. Thanks.
Well on time. So, next one.
Welcome to Cache Games. My lightning talk on my recent research on cache timing side channel attacks. And hello. Well, if you pay attention, you can win this bottle of salmiakki by solving my crypto challenge. The CPU cache. I assume you roughly have an idea what the CPU cache does. Essentially, it makes your memory accesses fast. If you have a cache miss, it takes long. If you have a cache hit, it's very fast because the cache supplies the data directly to the CPU core in just a few cycles. This effect can easily be measured on generic x86 CPUs with the RDTC instruction. Now, the central idea for this talk is that in a multitasking operating system, different programs run at the same time. That means after another. In this example, we have a blue program and a red program, both accessing the same memory location. And the red program observes the cache hit because the blue program accessed the same location, and the data is already in the cache. That means that we have an information channel that transmits the information about the most recently accessed memory locations across the cache, and yeah, the so-called cache side channels. And with these, what's so interesting about the most recently accessed memory locations of other processes? I skip forward to what IIS does. IIS does memory lookups in every round. The X1 and X2 into some lookup table T, and these indices leak through this cache channel. And by rewriting the first equation, you can see that I can derive key material with this attack. And I've implemented it. Some details, I'm not going to go into this because I don't have the time. This is the most important slide. This is the raw output from my program. On the left side, you can directly see the cache hits and cache misses. On the right side, what my neural network does with it, it nicely filters out every single memory access. You can see I can isolate them easily. And here comes the crypto challenge. What I've written is a program that is able to extract the key from the diagram on the right side. What you need to do now is, what was the plain text in this encryption? The key used is here be dragons. If you need additional information, the slides and the raw data, I'll upload them to the wiki. If you want to see a demo of this attack, for example, I've implemented a specific case this morning, sniffing OpenVPN traffic through the CPU cache. You can contact me via these means, or just talk to me. Thank you. That was Cache Games.
Okay, may I give you the keywords again? So the keywords are LaTeX, Beamer, presentation, wiki syntax, easy code, and highlighting. And Wiki2Beamer is a small tool to create LaTeX Beamer presentations from text files with a wiki-like syntax, and thus it enables to create Beamer presentation in a less time-consuming way. Wiki2Beamer is written in Python, and you will hear more about it very soon.
Well, hello, my name is Kai, and Evins is pretty bad at rendering PDFs, so you have to live with the lines. They are not there in some other renderers. So I'll talk about how you can talk about code more easily. And as you may know,
LaTeX can be used to create presentations, PDF files that are presentations. But how many presentations made with LaTeX Beamer have you seen recently? Probably very few. Well, this is sad in my opinion because LaTeX works very well with revision control systems like Subversion, so you can very good together. You can collaborate with your with partners, but yeah, WYSIWYG editors like PowerPoint aren't very good at this. There's also something else that WYSIWYG editors aren't very good at, and that's code highlighting, syntax highlighting. You have to do it manually, and if you want to have pop-ups, then you have to do this all manually and highlight this and insert a lot of effects. So LaTeX instead can highlight source code automatically, and you don't have to do this by hand. And so I think LaTeX should be used more often for presentations, especially for presentations about source code. But there are very valid reasons not to use LaTeX. Reason number one, I think, is that it's very verbose. And there's also another reason, it's that it's very, very verbose. So let's see this. This is example slide. This simple bullet slide needs this code monster to be created. So you have this begin frame, frame title, begin itemize. This is much too verbose for my taste. So wouldn't it be nice to have just like something like this? I mean, it's just some simple wiki syntax. Yeah, that's exactly what Wiki2Beamer is. You just give it some LaTeX, some wiki code, and it creates your text files. Well, it's a Python script. It's pretty simple. You put the text file in, and it puts text code out, and then you can render it with LaTeX. So what happens if Wiki2Beamer syntax is not enough for you? You can fall back to LaTeX code everywhere, so you don't lose any of the power of LaTeX. So what do you want to do if you talk about code? Most of the time, if you talk about code, you just need some listings, and you just want something to pop up. If you want to do this in plain LaTeX, you need huge amounts of code, but there's an alternative. Wiki2Beamer has this code block, this code environment, and you just highlight or put the sections that you want to pop up into braces and specify on which page they should pop up. And you really don't want to do this in LaTeX because this simple example extended to 40 lines of LaTeX code that's not nice to read. So Wiki2Beamer is by far not finished. It is a dirty preprocessor right now. I think it should be a compiler with a formal grammar and language. So if anyone here is good at this, I would really appreciate some help. It also needs some packaging for distros to be easily available. It would also be nice to have some installer for Windows so that all our student partners can just install it and work together with us and create presentations. And of course, it needs documentation. So thank you. You can.
So the next lightning talk is an announcement for the workshop radio broadcasting. And Mr. C from F, are you ready? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so radio broadcasting, yeah. So probably for many of you, it seems like a grandfather technology dying, superseded soon by the internet. Anyway, I'm not very sure about this because it's still very cool technology because you have direct access, direct communication, no intermediate operators, just a radio wave directly going to the people. It's free to air. You have no subscription, no operators, no net neutrality problems. It's cheap and simple to receive, the cheap receivers. It's anonymous listening, also very important in countries where freedom of information does not apply. And it's very efficient if you want to reach masses. Anyway, it's not